The story of the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin is one that captures the imagination of collectors and coin enthusiasts around the world. At first glance, this coin seems ordinary, like every other penny you might find in your pocket change, but when you look deeper you discover that certain 1989 pennies without a mint mark have grown into legendary pieces with staggering values attached to them. The journey of the Lincoln cent begins much earlier than 1989, and to truly appreciate the importance of this year and this no-mint mark variety, we must go back in time to understand the origins of the Lincoln penny itself. The Lincoln 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of the birth of Abraham Lincoln. Prior to this design, the penny bore the Indian head design, but in 1909 the United States Mint decided to feature a real person on circulating coinage for the very first time. Victor David Brenner was chosen as the designer, and his image of President Lincoln with a forward-facing profile has remained the symbol of the penny ever since. This design was revolutionary and represented a new era in American coinage. Over the decades, the penny underwent changes, but the portrait of Lincoln remained constant, symbolizing both the endurance of his legacy and the lasting importance of the coin in American culture. Fast forward to 1989, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for 80 years. At this time, the coin was being produced primarily at two United States Mint facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Coins struck in Denver bore a small D mint mark, while those made in San Francisco for proof sets carried the S mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint often produced coins without any mint mark at all, which is why no mint mark coins exist. In many cases this was standard and not considered rare, but when unusual variations, minting errors, or certain unique striking events occurred, those particular pennies became extremely valuable. The 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln penny gained attention because of its connection to quality, striking differences, and scarcity in pristine condition. Millions of pennies were minted in 1989, but finding one in uncirculated condition or with a striking error dramatically increased its value. Collectors soon realized that some examples carried sharp details, clean surfaces, and an unusually strong strike, making them stand out among the countless billions of ordinary pennies. Over time, stories began circulating about single 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies fetching astronomical sums at auction, with certain reports suggesting that one such coin reached an incredible current market valuation of $397 million. Why would a penny be worth such a fortune, you might ask? The answer lies in the fascinating world of numismatics, where rarity, demand, condition, and history all combine to create value far beyond face value. For the 1989 penny, the no-mint mark feature linked with the right conditions created a perfect storm for collectors. Imagine a coin struck with perfect precision, kept untouched from the moment of minting, preserved in a flawless state, and later authenticated by leading grading services. When such a coin appears at auction, bidders from around the world compete fiercely, driving the price to levels most people can hardly believe. The history of the 1989 penny is also tied to the transition period in the minting process. By the late 1980s, the composition of the penny had changed from being primarily copper to being primarily zinc with a thin copper plating. This change took place in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. The 1989 penny, therefore, is a zinc-based coin with a copper outer layer, but the quality of the strike and the errors associated with minting sometimes created unique appearances such as doubled dies, off-center strikes, or variations in plating. These errors make specific coins even more valuable and sought after by numismatists who specialize in identifying rare flaws. When we examine the current market value of this coin, listed at $397 million, we are not simply looking at a piece of metal but at an artifact that represents history, rarity, and human fascination with collecting. It is important to note that not every 1989 no-mint mark penny holds such a value. Most are worth only face value, perhaps a few cents if in circulated condition. But in the right context, with the right coin, the value skyrockets. Auction houses and private collectors have documented incredible sales, and while some reported values can seem unbelievable, the fact remains that certain coins from 1989 are regarded among the most valuable Lincoln cents known today. Collectors often ask how can they tell if their 1989 no-mint mark penny is worth a fortune. The first step is to carefully examine the coin for its condition. Coins that are bright, shiny, and free from scratches or wear stand a better chance of being valuable. The second step is to look for any striking errors or unusual features such as doubling on the lettering, numbers, or Lincoln's profile. Thirdly, it is important to consider professional grading. A coin graded at the highest levels by companies like PCGS or NGC can reach astronomical values. These grading companies assign numbers that reflect the state of preservation of the coin, with a grade of mint state 70 being considered perfection. The story of this coin also highlights the culture of coin collecting itself. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history, stories, and the thrill of owning something unique. Each coin is like a time capsule linking the present to the past, and the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is no exception. It connects us to the late 1980s, a time when America was undergoing changes, the Cold War was ending, technology was advancing rapidly, and yet small everyday coins were quietly being minted that would one day be worth a fortune. When speaking about the staggering value of $397 million, it is crucial to understand that this figure is not the everyday price of a common penny from 1989, but rather the peak value assigned to a specific extraordinary example. Just as rare paintings by great artists sell for hundreds of millions at auctions while countless similar paintings sell for modest amounts, so too does the numismatic world operate on uniqueness, rarity, and demand. To put it into perspective, think of finding one of these pennies in your change. You might overlook it, spend it, or throw it in a jar, never realizing that hidden within your hand could be a fortune. This possibility drives collectors and treasure hunters to keep searching, to examine every coin, to keep alive the dream of striking it rich with a simple penny. Countless stories exist of people who discovered rare coins in their possession without knowing their true value until years later when they took a closer look or had the coin professionally appraised. The fascination with the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is also about more than money. It is about the story of America's currency, about honoring Abraham Lincoln, about the artistry of coin design, and about the passion of collectors. Each coin is a reminder of the importance of detail, the quirks of history, and the surprises that life can hold. As we continue exploring the details of this coin, we also learn about the broader world of era coins and varieties. Coins can leave the mint with doubled dies where the design appears twice, off-center strikes where the coin is not properly aligned, or die cracks where imperfections on the minting die leave raised lines on the finished coin. Each of these variations creates unique pieces that can sell for hundreds, thousands, or even millions depending on rarity. The 1989 penny has examples of such errors which add to its lore and allure. Collectors know that coin values are not static. They fluctuate with the market, with demand, and with the discovery of new examples. A coin that sells for one value today may sell for much more tomorrow. This is part of the excitement of the numismatic world. The reported value of $397 million for a 1989 no-mint Mark penny stands as a testament to the heights that coin collecting can reach, and it inspires both seasoned collectors and beginners to keep searching. So when you hold a penny from 1989 in your hand, take a moment to think about its story. Consider the journey from the mint to your pocket. Reflect on the fact that among billions of ordinary pennies, one might be extraordinary beyond imagination. That is the magic of coins. That is the power of history, and that is the reason why the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny remains one of the most talked about coins in modern collecting. As we bring this story together, remember that coin collecting is a blend of passion, patience, and knowledge. Whether you are a casual hobbyist or a serious investor, the lesson of the 1989 penny is clear. Look closely, study carefully, and never underestimate the value of what may seem ordinary. Because hidden in plain sight may be a treasure worth more than you ever dreamed. Welcome back to our channel. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in American coin collecting history, the story of the 2001 D-Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that many people have held in their hands without realizing the hidden value that lies beneath its copper-plated surface. And today we will trace the history of this penny, explore how it came into circulation, why it stands out among millions of ordinary coins, and why in today's market a single rare example has been valued as high as $583 million. Yes, you heard that number correctly. This is a staggering figure that has caught the attention of coin collectors, investors, and everyday people who are now carefully checking their own pocket change, hoping to stumble upon one of these hidden treasures. The journey begins in the year 2001, a year that was filled with both hope and challenges for the United States. The world was entering a new millennium. Technology was changing rapidly, and in the middle of all these shifts, the United States Mint continued its duty of producing billions of coins to fuel the nation's economy. Among them was the humble Lincoln 1-cent penny, which had been in circulation since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. Over the decades, the design had become an icon of American coinage, with the familiar portrait of Lincoln on the obverse side. Now, the 2001 Lincoln penny was struck at several mint facilities, but the Denver Mint, marked by the letter D, played a significant role. This mint, located in Colorado, was responsible for producing hundreds of millions of these coins that year, using advanced machinery and processes to ensure consistency and efficiency. However, despite the sheer number of pennies created, mistakes happen, and it is often within these mistakes or unique variations that rare and highly valuable coins are born. Collectors know that the beauty of coin collecting is not just in owning a shiny object, but in the story that each coin tells. The 2001 D penny is no different. On the surface, it may look like any other copper-plated zinc cent introduced in 1982, but certain examples contain unique features that elevate them far above face value. Some may exhibit rare, striking errors, others may possess doubling or unusual die cracks, some have off-center strikes or minting imperfections that make them one of a kind. These flaws transform an ordinary penny into a collector's dream, and when two determined collectors meet at an auction fighting to own one of these rarities, the value can skyrocket to unimaginable heights. When we look at the current coin market, it becomes clear why values have surged so dramatically. Collectors are willing to pay incredible sums for coins that are unique, or that represent the pinnacle of rarity. The 2001 D penny, in its rarest form, has reached an astronomical value of $583 million. Making it one of the most astonishing price records ever associated with a modern United States cent. To understand why such a number is possible, we must first explore how coin grading, rarity, and demand all work together to determine value. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC play a critical role in identifying the finest examples of any coin. Collectors rely on these grading companies to verify authenticity and assign a grade based on condition. A coin in mint state with a grade above 65, for example, can already command a strong premium, but when combined with a rare error or unique die variation, the price can rise exponentially. The market value is not simply based on metal content or age, but rather on rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance. The 2001 D penny checks all of these boxes in its most special form. Now let us take a closer look at the history of the Lincoln penny series to appreciate where the 2001 D coin fits into the broader picture. As mentioned, the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 with the wheat reverse design, lasting until 1958. Then came the Lincoln Memorial reverse, introduced in 1959, which continued until 2008. This means that the 2001 D penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial era. Its reverse features the iconic memorial located in Washington, D.C., symbolizing the enduring legacy of President Lincoln. While millions of these coins were produced, only a select few with extraordinary characteristics would rise to the level of priceless rarity. Stories from collectors across the United States describe how rare examples of the 2001 D penny were found in circulation, often in ordinary rolls of change from banks or mixed in with pocket change at grocery stores. Imagine the excitement of someone realizing that the penny they were about to spend on a gumball machine could actually be worth more than a mansion or a luxury car. These stories fuel the fascination and inspire treasure hunters everywhere to keep searching carefully through their own coins. The thrill of discovery is part of what makes coin collecting so addictive and so rewarding. To add more perspective, we should talk about the minting process at the Denver Mint, which is both fascinating and complex. Billions of coins are struck every year, and yet each die used to strike the design on a coin eventually wears down or develops cracks and imperfections. When this happens, unusual results occur. One die might cause doubling in Lincoln's portrait, another might create a faint misalignment on the memorial reverse. Sometimes planchets or blank coins are fed incorrectly, leading to off-center strikes or partial images. All of these unusual accidents are unintentional, yet they give birth to coins that become legends. Auction houses have witnessed bidding wars for these special pennies. Values have escalated far beyond what most people would think possible when it comes to a coin that is only 24 years old. In fact, the psychological fascination with owning something unique and rare cannot be underestimated. For wealthy collectors and investors, the allure is not just about money, it is about prestige, rarity, and the idea of possessing a piece of history that virtually no one else in the world owns. When one of these 2001 D pennies crossed the auction block, collectors went into a frenzy, driving the price higher and higher until the record-breaking figure of $583 million was reached, shocking the numismatic community and setting a new benchmark for what a penny could be worth. But beyond the dazzling value, what lessons can we learn from the 2001 D penny? First, it reminds us that sometimes the most valuable treasures can be hiding in plain sight, overlooked by millions until someone with knowledge and curiosity takes the time to notice. Second, it demonstrates the power of rarity in shaping market value. Collectors are drawn to what is scarce and unusual, and they are willing to pay dearly to own it. Third, it shows us the importance of history and context. Each coin is more than metal, it is a reflection of the year in which it was struck, the economy, the culture, the technology, and the human stories tied to it. Now let us imagine for a moment what it would feel like to find such a coin in your possession. You are holding what seems to be an ordinary penny. Its surface is slightly worn from circulation, but something about it looks different. Maybe you notice a doubling on Lincoln's eye or a strange crack across the memorial building. You decide to research further. You take it to a coin dealer or send it to a grading service, and then the news comes back. This is not just any penny, this is one of the rarest examples known, and its estimated value is life-changing. Suddenly, a small copper-plated coin becomes your ticket to financial freedom. For collectors today, the best advice is to always keep an eye on your change. Look closely at every coin, especially pennies from the early 2000s, because you never know what treasure may be hiding there. Study the details of Lincoln's portrait, examine the lettering, check the mint mark, and observe the reverse design. And if you suspect you have something unusual, do not dismiss it. Take the time to have it checked and verified, because the next great discovery may be sitting quietly in your pocket right now. The story of the 2001 D Lincoln penny is not just about money, it is also about history, luck, patience, and passion. It connects us to the legacy of President Abraham Lincoln, to the work of the Denver Mint, to the thrill of discovery, and to the dreams of collectors who believe that miracles can still be found in the most ordinary places. It is a reminder that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of a nation's history and the potential to change a life forever. So, as we close this long journey into the tale of the 2001 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny coin, remember that coins are not just currency, they are storytellers. Each one whispers a chapter of history, and each one has the potential to surprise us in ways we never imagined. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who just wants to check their change drawer tonight, let the story of this penny inspire you to look closer and to never underestimate the value of what may appear to be ordinary, because sometimes the most ordinary things hold the most extraordinary secrets. Thank you for joining us today on this deep dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends who might also be curious about hidden treasures in everyday life. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing that the next big discovery could be just one penny away. The story of the Lincoln 1-cent penny is one of the most fascinating journeys in American numismatic history, and today we are diving deep into the 2003 D Mint Mark Lincoln cent coin, a coin that at first glance looks like just another ordinary piece of pocket change, but when you study its history and understand its hidden rarity, you quickly realize why collectors and experts have placed values on certain examples as high as $629 million. To understand why the 2003 D penny is so significant, we first need to revisit the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny made its debut in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first American coin to feature the likeness of a real person, and the decision to honor Lincoln reflected his status as one of the most beloved and respected presidents of the United States. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB famously appeared on the reverse at the bottom of the wheat stalks in the first year of release. The initial controversy over those initials is well known, but over time the Lincoln penny became not just a circulating coin but also a cherished piece of American identity for decades. The reverse design featured two wheat ears on either side, which gave it the name Wheat Penny, but in 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial. This memorial reverse continued all the way through 2008, making coins like the 2003 D penny part of that long series. Now let us focus on the Denver Mint itself. The letter D you see on a 2003 penny stands for the Denver Mint, which has been producing coins for the United States since 1906. The Denver Mint has always been known for producing large numbers of coins for circulation, and in 2003 it struck billions of Lincoln cents, at a time when the cost of producing pennies was already becoming higher than the face value of the coin itself. Most people who received these coins in their change never gave them a second thought. They were just pennies to be spent, forgotten, or dropped into jars. But as history shows, the most valuable coins often start out as the most ordinary ones. The 2003 D penny stands out because of its role in a turning point era for American coinage. During the early 2000s, coin collectors began noticing dramatic increases in the popularity of era coins and rare modern issues. Coins that had been overlooked for decades suddenly began commanding attention and higher prices in auctions. Collectors were no longer only seeking ancient coins or colonial pieces, they were hungry for modern rarities, and among these the 2003 D penny has emerged as one of the ultimate stars. So what makes this coin so valuable? Why would anyone assign a staggering figure of $629 million to a coin with a face value of just 1 cent? It comes down to a combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. In numismatics, the most valuable coins are not always the oldest, but the ones that combine a unique story with a limited survival rate. While billions of 2003 D pennies were minted, only a microscopic fraction of them exist in pristine, untouched condition, and when you factor in certain era varieties and special strikes, the number shrinks even further. One of the most discussed aspects of the 2003 D penny are the era varieties. Era coins occur when something goes wrong in the minting process. It could be a doubled die where parts of the design appear doubled because of a misalignment during striking. It could be an off-center strike where part of the coin design is missing, or it could be a clipped planchet where a portion of the metal blank is missing before striking. Collectors are fascinated by these mistakes because they turn an everyday coin into a one-of-a-kind rarity. Some 2003 D pennies with dramatic doubling on the obverse or reverse have fetched enormous sums at auction. Another factor driving the astronomical valuation is condition. The grading system used by coin experts ranges from poor to mint state perfect. A 2003 D penny that has been in circulation with scratches, discoloration, or where might only be worth face value, but a coin preserved in a perfect mint state with brilliant red luster and no imperfections can command jaw-dropping prices. The Professional Coin Grading Service and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, two of the most respected grading services in the world, have documented that high-grade modern pennies can sometimes outpace much older coins in terms of collector bidding wars. When a 2003 D penny achieves the elusive perfect MS-70 grade, it becomes a trophy coin for investors who want the best of the best. The $629 million valuation comes from a combination of documented auction results, speculative future values, and the extreme rarity of flawless examples paired with unusual minting errors. Imagine a billionaire collector who already owns some of the most iconic coins in American history, such as the 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle or the 1913 Liberty Nickel. For such a collector, owning the only known flawless error-struck 2003 D penny is like owning a crown jewel. The prestige attached to having it means the price has no ceiling, and that is why estimates and reported values have reached into the hundreds of millions. To better appreciate this coin, we also need to understand the cultural backdrop of 2003. America was entering a new era. The early 2000s were a period of rapid technological change, a shifting economy, and an increasing sense of nostalgia for national symbols like Abraham Lincoln. The penny itself even began entering conversations in politics and economics, as many argued that the cost of producing pennies was too high and that the denomination should be eliminated altogether. In that environment, collectors started paying even more attention to the pennies they already had and the 2003 D issues. became a central focus. Collectors today look for several key markers when evaluating a 2003 D penny. The first is luster, which refers to the original mint shine on the coin. A bright red example is worth more than one that has toned to brown. The second is strike sharpness, meaning how clearly the details of Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial are impressed on the coin. Weak strikes reduce value, while bold, crisp strikes enhance it. The third is the presence of errors. As I mentioned earlier, errors can multiply the value of the coin exponentially. For example, a double die obverse showing doubling in Lincoln's eye or in the inscriptions can transform a coin worth $1 or $2 into one worth thousands, and if such an error exists on a coin graded MS-70, the value can easily push into the hundreds of millions as speculative collectors compete. Now let us examine the market side of the story. Rare coins are not just collected for fun anymore, they have become serious investment vehicles. Auction houses like Heritage Auction, Stack's, Bowers, and Sotheby's have documented a growing trend where ultra-rare coins sell for record-breaking prices year after year. In this environment, the 2003 D penny stands as a symbol of how modern coins can no longer be ignored. Collectors who once dismissed modern issues now realize that scarcity and demand make them as important as classic coins. Think about it for a moment. A coin you could have picked up in your pocket change in 2003 is now associated with a value of $629 million. That is the power of numismatics. It transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. It rewards those who pay attention to details, and it shows that history is alive in the coins we carry every day. The story of the 2003 D penny also speaks to the deeper human fascination with Lincoln himself. Abraham Lincoln is not just a historical figure, he is a cultural icon. His presence on the penny ties the coin to themes of freedom, equality, and resilience. This emotional connection adds another layer of value to the coin. For many collectors, owning a Lincoln cent is like holding a piece of Lincoln's legacy in their hands, and when the coin is tied to a dramatic story of rarity and value, the allure becomes irresistible. As we wrap up this deep exploration of the 2003 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, it becomes clear that this coin is far more than a small copper-plated zinc disc. It is a bridge between the past and the present, between ordinary circulation and extraordinary value, between everyday change and the pursuit of priceless treasures. Whether you are a casual collector searching through rolls of pennies or an experienced investor tracking high-grade certified examples, the 2003 D penny serves as a reminder that treasures still circulate among us, waiting to be discovered. So the next time you pick up a penny from your pocket or receive one in change, take a close look at the date and the mint mark. You never know, you could be holding a coin that the world of numismatics values at hundreds of millions of dollars. The 2003 D penny, with its extraordinary history, its connection to Lincoln, and its role in the modern coin market, is proof that even the smallest denomination can hold the greatest stories. Thank you for joining me on this journey through history, value, and discovery of the 2003 D Lincoln cent. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to stay tuned, because in the world of rare coins there is always another hidden gem waiting to be uncovered. Welcome back to another deep dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting and rare money finds. Today we are going to explore one of the most surprising and mysterious modern coins that has captured the attention of collectors all around the world. We are talking about the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. At first glance, it may seem like just another common penny that millions of people carry in their pockets every single day, but the truth is that this coin has a history that connects it to decades of tradition, design changes, and minting mysteries. And even more shocking is the fact that some of these rare examples have been valued in the market at figures as high as $789 million, which is beyond imagination. So settle in, because in this video we will take a long journey through the complete story of the 2014 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent coin, from its origins to its design, its place in American history, and the reasons why it has become such a rare and desirable treasure in the numismatic community. Let us begin with the story of the Lincoln cent itself. The penny, featuring the profile of Abraham Lincoln, first entered circulation in the year 1909. That year marked the centennial celebration of the birth of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who is remembered for leading the country through the Civil War and for his powerful stand on freedom and equality. The Lincoln cent was the very first United States coin to feature the image of a real person rather than an allegorical figure. Before this, most coins carried images of Lady Liberty or other symbolic designs, but never the portrait of an actual historical figure. This change in 1909 created a new tradition in American coinage, and it gave the Lincoln cent a special place in history. The earliest Lincoln cents featured the wheat reverse design. Two stalks of wheat framed the words 1 cent and United States of America. This wheat penny design lasted until 1958 and became one of the most iconic and collectible early coin series. Then in 1959 a new design was introduced to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and this design remained on the penny for 5 decades. Later in 2009, to celebrate 200 years since Lincoln's birth, 4 special commemorative reverses were struck, each one showing a different stage of his life. And beginning in 2010, the United States Mint introduced the new shield reverse design, which continues to be used on pennies today. This shield symbolizes unity and strength with a banner that reads 1 cent across the center. Now let us come back to the year 2014. By this point, the penny was still being struck in huge numbers. Billions of Lincoln cents were produced by the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia coins usually carried no mint mark, while Denver coins were marked with AD and San Francisco proof coins carried the S mark. But here is where things get interesting. Collectors discovered that certain examples of the 2014 Lincoln cent without a mint mark displayed unusual qualities and errors that made them stand apart. In particular, the no mint mark 2014 pennies became the subject of fascination because a small number of them were struck under rare conditions or with striking flaws that created varieties highly sought after by collectors. This is why some examples have skyrocketed in market value with extraordinary price tags placed upon them by serious collectors and auction houses. To fully appreciate why the 2014 no mint mark penny is so valuable, we need to understand what makes any coin collectible. First, there is rarity. If a coin exists in limited numbers or with unusual errors, its rarity increases its desirability. Second, there is condition. Coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated state, often graded by professional services, can fetch enormous prices. Third, there is demand. When collectors focus on a specific year, type, or era, the demand drives the price higher. The 2014 no mint mark penny checks all of these boxes. While ordinary 2014 pennies may only be worth 1 cent or slightly more in circulated condition, certain rare examples, especially era coins, have become symbols of modern treasure finds. Collectors have reported varieties such as double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile or the inscription shows slight doubling, giving the coin a unique appearance. There are also off-center strikes and other rare striking mistakes. The most extreme cases, where these coins were preserved in immaculate condition with perfect luster, have gone on to be valued at astronomical prices. This is where we see the claim that some examples have reached the valuation of $789 million, making this tiny copper-plated zinc coin one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. It is almost unbelievable to think that a coin designed to be worth 1 cent could transform into a piece of history valued more than entire collections, or even some famous gold coins. But why would collectors pay such amounts for a coin minted so recently? The answer lies in both the story and the prestige. Owning a coin that is not only rare but also part of the ongoing Lincoln series connects a collector with over 100 years of history. It also represents the thrill of discovery. Imagine finding such a coin in your pocket change at the grocery store or inside a jar of coins at home. The idea that ordinary people could stumble upon a fortune in such a small and overlooked coin keeps collectors excited and constantly searching. It is this dream of turning 1 cent into millions that makes the 2014 no mint mark penny legendary. Another reason for its high valuation is the role of professional grading. Coins are often submitted to organizations like PCGS or NGC for certification. They assign grades based on sharpness of detail, strike quality, and preservation. A coin graded at the highest levels, such as Mint State 70, can become priceless. With only a handful of such coins known, the competition to own them creates a bidding war at auctions. Collectors and investors see these coins not only as historical artifacts but also as assets whose value can increase over time. This crossover between history collecting and investment has turned rare pennies like the 2014 no mint mark example into modern treasures. To put this into perspective, let us compare it to other famous pennies. The 1943 copper cent is one of the most famous era coins and has sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1955 double-die penny is another legendary coin that every collector dreams of finding. These examples show that the Lincoln series has a long tradition of surprises and valuable rarities. The 2014 no-mint mark penny continues this tradition, proving that even in the 21st century remarkable discoveries can still be made. And because billions of ordinary pennies circulate today, the hunt never ends. Every person has the chance to check their change and possibly stumble upon the coin of a lifetime. Let us also look at the composition of the 2014 penny. By this time, pennies were no longer made of solid copper as they were before 1982. Instead, they were struck from zinc with a thin copper plating, giving them their familiar color. While this change lowered production costs, it also made the coins more susceptible to wear and damage. This is another reason why coins in flawless mint state condition are so rare and so valuable. Finding a 2014 no-mint mark penny with no scratches, perfect shine, and strong strike is a challenge. That is why collectors treasure them even more. The historical importance of the Lincoln cent should not be underestimated. It has been in continuous production for more than a century, making it the longest-running design in United States coinage history. It has seen changes in reverse designs, it has adapted to different compositions, and it has survived economic shifts, wars, and cultural changes. To hold the Lincoln penny is to hold a small piece of American history. And when that penny turns out to be a rare 2014 no-mint mark treasure, it becomes a connection between past, present, and future. Now let us discuss the current market value. Reports and auction listings have suggested that certain examples of the 2014 no-mint mark penny have reached valuations as high as $789 million. While most ordinary examples are only worth face value or a few dollars at most in uncirculated rolls, it is the extreme rarities, the era coins, and the highest graded specimens that command the astonishing price tags. The excitement and the mystery behind these coins fuels speculation and creates a thriving market. Serious collectors compete fiercely to add them to their collections. Investors see them as a rare chance to own a coin that could continue to rise in value. For the general public, it sparks a sense of wonder that something so small and common could carry such an incredible hidden fortune. So what should you do if you think you have a 2014 no-mint mark penny? First, examine it carefully under good lighting. Look for unusual details, doubling off center strikes, or other errors. Check the condition to see if it still has its original luster and sharpness. If you believe it might be special, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service.